Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and with me today we got
Kyle McIntyre.
McIntyre. There we go.
In the flesh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about gear this week.
Really?
I know.
I was always find some random bullshit to
You
talk
guys
about.
were a bunch of champions, and you made it through, or you didn't. You know, through episode 69, the extravaganza.
Yeah, we'll wait up for you.
Of the weak ass topic week, but we're here. We're back into it. So, Kyle, what is new in your world? What is shaking? What is grooving? It sounds like you're, sick again.
I am. God damn it.
Yeah, you caught it again.
I mean, gosh dang it, motherfucker. No, yeah, it's like a sinus thing.
Okay, so it's not full blown.
It's not like full blown whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, I just have like something sinusy and coughing and stuff, but I don't feel really sick like I did before, like I was gonna die.
Okay, well, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping I don't catch anything.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say cross your fingers that I do die until this podcast will just take off.
Yeah,
our back catalog of 70.
We need one of us to croak and be like, "Oh no,
he died halfway through the podcast."
He died.
Oh, he died.
All right. Besides your ailments or whatever, what's new? What's shaking?
I bought a Messner a little while ago.
I think we mentioned it real quick.
Yeah. And I wasn't really sure if it was acting properly, so I sent it back to the people who created it.
Sent it back to Walrus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so what was the problem?
What I thought was a problem was that the clipping diodes, like the clipping circuit, was like non-existent. You couldn't hear it.
You couldn't tell a difference.
No, I couldn't hear it at all. Like from open to close, nothing.
Okay.
And then I heard a lot of background noise.
Yeah.
Just like a little clicking and popping, which, I'm like, well, I don't want to take a chance. I'm not even going to open this thing up. I just bought on Reverb, tried it out like maybe twice. I'm like, damn, this thing could sound good, but it's just kind of bumming me out. So contacted Walrus. They're like, yeah, send it here, no problem. And they looked at it and they said there was nothing wrong with it. So but then they offered to give me the Messner X, basically. Basically, they modded the pedal into the Messner X. And
that's kind of just more.
Yeah, it's more of it. So basically, they probably just changed some resistors and stuff.
Yeah,
but
so
it sounds the same, which is still that like mid-humpy kind of.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't a mid-hump.
It's pretty nasally, or it's pretty.
Well, maybe because you're playing it through an orange.
Maybe because I'm nasally myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is the orange.
And the way the amp is set up, it's like mids are at 3 o'clock.
I don't know why I said nasally. I didn't mean nasally.
But if I remember correctly, because I never actually got a chance to play it before you sent it out. It's supposed to be like a transparent, like an actual transparent. So it's not like a clone, where they say, "Oh, transparent," but it's actually a mid, kind of like almost two screamer E kind of deal. But it's supposed to be actually just like a. I don't know. It's like there's so many different types of drives and flavors and like just ways to describe them. But this is actually like supposed to be like a transparent one where it doesn't affect your EQ and doesn't change your amp all that much.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives you just a little bit more.
Yeah.
It gives you more volume, more gain, stuff like that.
And there's like a color knob, I guess, so you can change the
flavor
flavor slightly if you want.
But it was supposed to be like pretty subtle changes. It's a really light drive. It
was very, very light before,
and
now they basically beefed it up. Maybe they
realized
that it was too light, and they gave it more of a wider range, more headroom. I guess,
and that's what the X mod is like. I think they were saying like you don't have to have it in such extreme settings to hear a huge difference.
Yeah,
you can get those at more of a moderate,
like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So you can have more, but if you really want it rolled back, you can get there too. Which is like maybe a bigger sweep of each of the controls, which is cool. So you got it back. Great customer service. They were really quick.
It was so fast.
You got it. I mean, the slowest part was actually packing it up and sending it out. Yeah. And then they got it and they got back to you and sent it back.
Got back to me like the day they got it. They checked it out.
Yeah.
Told me there was nothing wrong with it. Asked if I wanted to mod it. And then I was like, yeah, do it. And then like a day and a half or 2 days later, it came back.
Nice. That's very cool. So good company. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
good
great.
customer
Out
service.
of Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool that a company, they're pretty big. And it's a company
they're
like
getting
that.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the bigger quote unquote boutique companies, and they can get back to you pretty quick, which I like.
Yeah, it was great.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be shitty, and then
it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, it wasn't too bad.
Cool.
And I didn't have to pay actually for that mod. So
nice.
And then I got another pedal.
Okay, what'd you get?
I got Copper Sound pedals. I got
Alex and the boys.
Yeah, Alex and the boys. I got a Broadway.
And Becca, yeah.
Yeah, and
and the gal. Yeah.
I got a custom made Broadway.
Okay. And
So-
people who don't know, what is that?
So it's like the telly cutout.
Okay, so it's one of their
It's one of their pick guard, guitars. Pedals.
Pedal kind of deals.
Yeah.
They have
It's
two.
cool. It's got they have the strategy. Sorry, I'm burping. Strategy. And they got the Broadway. So it's kind of cool. It's like cross section of a guitar, and it's really cool. You can actually get it matched to a guitar that you have. So you have your pedal guitar, and you have, or like me, I just picked two colors that I thought were really cool together.
Yeah, like Buddy Paul from the Flippin' Flippers got it to match his telly that he currently has.
Yep.
And then you're kind of like, no, I want it
different.
Yeah, I want it to look cool. Like just a cool combo that I have in my head.
Yeah, so I had seen like a really, I had seen a bass actually.
Yeah.
On Reverb. And I like screenshot it and sent it to Johnny. I'm like, look how ugly this thing is. I was like, God. And I'm like, actually, it's I really like it actually.
It grew on me quick.
Yeah. Turquoise, right?
Yeah.
Which is a cool color, right?
Yeah.
But with a red Tort pickguard.
Nice.
Which
I like red. I like Tort. Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
But I don't like, I think it's brown Tort I don't like.
Okay.
Like the
Is that the one that I have?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what you have. I didn't know there was a difference. No, so it was like a more reddish color.
Yeah, yeah.
And it, on the pedal, it stands out really nicely.
Yeah.
And it's like super bright. And it's not like a color combination that you see very often. Mm-hmm. You might see like, obviously you see your like creams and your sunbursts or your, with Tort.
White and pink. And
Yeah,
stuff like
white. Pink, and then you have, was it like cobalt blue is like the closest one I've seen. And then I saw that bass. That bass is a 5-string.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
So that was a turn off, yeah.
But I'm like, look past that and look at the color scheme. And I was like, okay, you know what? 5-string jazz bass actually too. So
woo.
Shit.
Yeah.
But I'm maturing,
Yeah.
But still I would never buy one of those.
Yeah. But you would buy a pedal that kind of looks like that, inspired by that.
Yeah.
And
man, the thing sounds amazing. I really like it.
It looks cool. And we posted a picture on our Instagram, and I think it's also on the Copper Sound or whatever. Like,
yeah, check it out.
Yeah, it's cool. They have a pro picture, and then we have like just an iPhone picture on our Instagram.
Yeah.
But it looks good. And what they said, it was like the first combination of those colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were
truly unique.
Kyle was the first.
So get in line, guys. You can say you want the Kyle special.
Kyle, I want it Kyle style. Anyway, so you got that, and it's not only looking cool.
It sounds amazing.
It sounds great. It's a preamp, right?
Yep, it's a preamp pedal, and I think maybe I'm on like a preamp kick, which is weird because it's not really an effect or anything. It's not. It's just. It's more of what you're already playing.
It's making it just better.
Better, yeah. And I have the Echoplex.
Yeah,
which is funny. It's like you would never think that would be a preamp pedal.
Yeah, because there's a preamp from the Echo. Yeah.
So they split it up and put it in different houses. But I don't know. I have a DoD preamp.
Yeah.
And then the preamp / was drive, the overdrive, the 250. Was the 250?
Oh, the DoD 250.
Yeah, it's preamp / DoD.
Drive. Yeah, a little more dirt. Yeah.
Man, I think I'm on a preamp kick.
Yeah, the Broadway. It's really cool. I mean, it has the 3 positions almost to like mimic what would be like if you're playing a telly. So it has like the 3 blade or like the blade switch with the 3 positions, and it's really cool because like obviously like when you're putting it into the bridge position, it's more trebly.
Yeah.
Put it in the middle, it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And then put it towards
more
the neck.
bassy.
It's like it's more of like a bassy kind of fuzz. Can get more fuzz.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. I really dig it. I'm like,
and I was just like, fuck it, I want it, and he can make it. I know he can. We talked about it, and I'm really glad the way it turned out.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Cool.
Brian, what's new with you?
So I did finally sell one of the last things I had on Reverb.
Jesus, you were just on a roll.
I know, you're getting pedals and I'm selling them. So there's a balance here, I think. I'm like, every time I sell one, you got to get
the address of the guy you're sending stuff to?
Yeah. So yeah, just you.
Yeah.
So
By way of like sent to like North Dakota and back to me.
So I sold my Maleko Spring Reverb. It's that little mini guy. I think I talked about it, how it was just like getting either really dicked down to like $40 or $30 or offers or whatever. And and then finally like I sold it for a good price. I think I sold it for 80. I bought it for 90 on Reverb. So it's like I bought it used for 90. I sold it for 80. So I thought, $10 or whatever here and there. I had it for a year and a half. I liked it. And yeah, I was happy to move it along. And I'm like, ooh, one day like it sold and I'm like, hell yeah. Like it's just to pack it up and get it out of there and just get some. Not that I'm like getting a lot of room because it's so little, but
because you love mini pedals, so
I'm getting some room.
A lot more work to get those gone.
Yeah, and then your whole thing, going off of your preamp deal, I borrowed a couple pedals from you, and
I'm swimming in them, baby.
Got a couple of mine together to do like a preamp boost, make better pedal type shootout. Well, like basically your one knob jobbies where they're just like the preamp, and then it's like you turn it up to get more or whatever. Or so if they call them boost preamps, whatever. That's kind of, I was like, I had 5 of them. Then I was like, between the two of us, we have some good stuff.
Yeah,
and I wanted to like kind of do a shootout. So
you start at the bottom. Wait,
I borrowed your DOD.
Okay,
is it just a preamp? Is that what it's called?
The one that doesn't have any LED on it, or
yes, it's
just that one. Just DOD preamp.
It's just on. There's no foot switch on it too. So
is there even a number on that? I think it's just.
I'll get to that one in a second. Yeah. My thoughts on that. And then I borrowed your Echo. Is it Echoplex?
Yep.
From the Dunlop one.
Yep.
That's after the preamp from the Echoplex. And then I have the Exotic Effects, the EP booster, which is also based on the Echoplex.
Okay. Nice.
EP. And then
smart.
I have the Ground Control Amaterasu.
Yeah.
And that's a bright preamp. And lastly, I had the Copper Sound. It's a Copper Sound heavy so far.
Yeah.
What's new is the Gravity Bomb, and that's the one I got just like recently. Anyway, so it's a one knob mini pedal.
That's a preamp they cut out of not literally cut out, but of the Foxcatcher.
I think they added it to they had the Gravity Bomb first, and they added
so it's
that
the same.
too.
Okay,
so it's the same one.
It's the same one, and that's in the Foxcatcher.
I'll added that in. There you go. So it's cool. I have that, and I like having it on old. It's like kind of like a buffer. It's like he corrected me. It's an op amp, like. Boost.
Okay.
So it's not JFET based or anything like that. It's op amp. So and it's kind of based off of a microamp MXR style.
Oh yeah,
and a lot
of
people will kind of do like a JFET type of deal. He's doing something more kind of based off that, but mini and op amp and whatever. So
better probably.
Yeah, I really dig it. I ran the Exotic, the EP Boost, and the Gravity Bomb both at 18 volts. So I'm sure that had a little bit of a difference, like of.
More headroom and stuff.
I guess.
You didn't try it out.
I don't know. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to tell because I'm like I don't know.
God,
but
this isn't very scientific.
Yeah, no. Really, I thought let's cut to the chase here. DOD was my least favorite. Okay. I hate the fact that you can't turn it off.
Yep.
It's always on, and then it has only a battery, and it's partially due to it being older, and just that's what it was.
I put that little dongle on there.
I
tried, Brian.
But it's just the fact you can't turn it off. I hate that idea because like you don't know what your amp sounds like and you don't know what it's doing to it.
Yeah, you don't know what.
I want to know
if you
what
fucked up somewhere.
Well, yeah, I want to know what my starting point is because I'm always like kind of gauging based on that. So that was my least favorite.
Okay,
it sounded fine, but features wise, why? When you can have the others.
Okay, it's a different time back then, Brian.
I'm coming back at you with this one.
Pedals will be pedals, you know.
Echoplex. It had a lot. I mean, that's my second. That's my fourth favorite one.
Man, I don't know if I can continue with this.
Dunlop one,
killing me.
Like to get Unity volume had to be at noon.
Yeah.
So that means you only had.
Well, that was the same thing with the with that other DoD pedal. So that's why they're both scraping the bottom.
I guess. I mean, I guess you could roll the volume back, but.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you want your pedal? I don't know. I guess
there's your volume control.
That could be your volume control, I guess. So I mean, but still, They're 5 and 4.
All right.
And then I guess the other ones, I'm like, I don't know. EP booster, I liked a lot because I'm like, that could be an always on pedal. And I've seen that a bunch where it's like, say, Tom from MXPX, he kind of just has that always on. So if he's like jumping around to different, like I'm doing a JMP, I'm doing a rock reverb, I'm doing 8030s, I'm like, going to Japan, I have a JCM 900. It's like everything is like, this can kind of like always be on, and I can kind of gain like, what my attack into the amp is and stuff like that. And just like, even if it was like, okay, everything sounds good, just add that more, and just like hitting the front end a little differently with a little bit of a preamp. And you're digging preamps, so it's like just a little bit can do a lot. Just if your pick dynamics and how much it's your pickup
your
is
presence,
picking, I guess. Yeah, something like that. And then, so anyways, I really dig that. And then there's a lot of room to go on that, especially running at 18 volts. That kind of helps. I don't know. I honestly, I've run it at 9 volts. I've run it at 18 volts. I can't tell the difference. And then the Gravity Bomb and Amaterasu, those are, I'm just going to tie them. I'm just going to cop out and be like, okay, Amaterasu has so much volume gain on tap for that thing. Even running it at just like the lowest setting is like, your amp's already going to start breaking up.
Nice.
I like it, and it sounds great. I'm like, it has the bright switch, which I think sounds better for my style of playing because it's like you want a lot of attack, but it also has like the you can turn the bright switch off and kind of get more of a fuzzy thing as you turn it up. So I feel like that's pretty like unique as far as a preamp. I'm like, it has a lot of like flexibility and stuff like that. And then the Copper Sound one running at 18 volts. I think maybe just my style, I couldn't tell a difference of running 9 volts. But I mean, I really dig it. I mean, it has so much room and it has a lot of characteristic. It's like, it has so many different, I think, you can run from, just have it be a buffer and just like an always on thing kind of thing. And then you can kind of get like a boost, and then you can kind of get like a gain deal as you get it like past like noon. I dig them. So that's all to say is like, none of them were bad.
All right. Well, you make me feel better now.
Yeah. None of them were bad. I'm like, man, just putting these in front of like an amp that you like.
Yeah.
It just makes it sound great.
I think that's where I'm at.
I'm a huge fan of like preamps. And I'm like, the thing is, I don't know if they're preamps or boosts or whatever the fuck they are, but they were all damn good. So like, that's my whole thing. It's like a little different take from like the last maybe episode or so where I was borrowing a bunch of your bigger MXR deals. These ones, none of them were bad. I had nothing bad to report.
That's good.
It's just the DoD one is my least favorite because I'm like,
no switch.
I have no fucking idea what it's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's my least
favorite. You feel like A-B it or something.
I feel like I'm like in the dark here. I'm like, I'm seeing everything, but I feel like I'm lost.
Well, a lot of those DoD pedals don't even have LEDs on them.
I know. So it's like,
it's weird.
And it makes sense because it's like, it's on because it's on.
Yeah.
You hear it. And I'm like, where's this one? I'm like, it's always on, I guess.
Yeah. Like, the phazor's on because it's phasing.
It's going,
yeah.
Or like, wah.
Yeah, it's like dubstep.
I guess, phaser's more of like a blue, and a flanger's more like,
oh, yeah, that's flanger.
We already determined that one.
What about chorus? Can you do chorus?
There you go. You did it for me.
Sure.
So
it was like delay in chorus.
Now it's kind of all my own home test of preamps.
Yeah.
There's other ones to try, but so far the ones that we have in our grasp are all pretty damn good. So we did have a gig this past week.
Yeah.
Or this last weekend. So for our band, Playing Without a Pilot. So in case some of you guys are new, Kyle and I both play in a band, and we had a gig.
And
it was
the
good.
Same band.
Yeah, we are in the same band, Playing Without a Pilot. And it was fun. We played locally here. I guess it was a little more
local?
north. A little
it's like 30 miles north.
Yeah, Oceanside. We played at Legacy Brewing. It was fucking killer.
It was awesome.
Friend of the show, Johnny Ray. He live streamed most of our performance, and it was actually it sounded pretty good.
Yeah,
just from a phone. And let me tell you, in the crowd, it sounded pretty good. On stage, it sounded like shit.
Yeah,
it was fucking.
Yeah,
it just wasn't a good. Your stage sound. I'm like, you got to hope for the best. Here we go.
That's why you bring earplugs.
Yep.
That's why you bring something for that assist.
And the thing is, like, I could tell, like, when we were on stage, I'm like, boy, I can't hear you
I could hear the reflection off the wall in the back.
And like, I kept,
at least I can hear that. I know it's loud enough.
I kept on
else.
checking my guitar to see if it was like, I have Evertune, and I was like, dude, I feel like we're out of tune, and I can't, whatever. And I kept like every song, like just like roll off the volume, check tuning. No, we're good, and then back into it. I'm like, okay, I'm just hearing the reflections off of it.
Yeah, it's like the phase or whatever,
something like that. But it like I'm like listening.
And we brought our big amps.
Well, yeah, because we got
we were
there,
unsure,
and I think. If you guys, anybody actually listened, we talked about like this show leading up to it, just like as like, hey, we got a show coming up. If anybody's local, come out. So people did.
Yeah.
Big ups to, we had a couple friends, Jen, Johnny, and I think that was about it. But I mean, it was far. It ended up being far out there. But it's like the venue. So I mean. Big shout out to like San Diego Music League. They put up on the show. The lineup changed 3 times. The venue changed 3 times. The venue like didn't get booked until like 3 days of the show, and it was packed. It was a great great night.
Unusual. It was
great.
I
was like, ooh. And because of that, we weren't familiar with the venue, and we didn't know what the stage was going to be like. We didn't know what the sound was going to be like, and so we're like, okay, we have to prepare for like. Being in a big room.
The amps have to carry
and
the
not
weight.
being mic'd. Ended up, so we brought the, what?
When I say my big amp, I really mean like my medium-sized amp.
Yeah, you got your middle
I got,
ground
my Vente, and then I got like my tall, and then my grande, and I brought my
Okay,
tall.
do you want to like buck-splain to me what is the difference? I don't go get...
I don't even know.
What's the biggest one?
Biggest one's, there's a bigger one than Vente.
Okay.
Right,
if you're doing small, medium, large.
Vente or Venti, however you say it, is literally 20 in Italian.
Okay.
So that's how you know.
20
is 30. There's a 30 ounce. This is Starbucks talk.
Okay.
Obviously. And then I think the tall is the small, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, that makes, oh God, that's dumb.
Well, it's like calling it a double when it's like, or a highball. You think, oh, that's probably the biggest one. It's like, no, highball is not the biggest.
Wait, what
pint,
is it?
It's not even a pint.
Okay.
Pint is literally the measurement of.
So pint's bigger than.
Pint is 16?
I thought it was 20. I don't know. Anyways, this is boring.
No,
Back to
pint is half of a quart.
Okay, so cool stuff. So we brought the bigger amps.
Yep.
And you brought what, your 410 SVT?
410 with SVT. Yep.
Yeah. So Ampeg.
Yeah.
You
cannot go wrong.
And always just,
that'll feel big. You can feel small.
Yeah. And
whatever.
I mean, it wasn't bad at all. It sounded great, and you got compliments, of course. Fucking
yeah, of course.
I talked to the bass player.
The stage I thought was bigger. We were maxed out basically on real estate.
We were tight.
Like, I'm surprised Brian could get back there.
Yeah,
with how widespread everything was. But.
And then luckily we're a 3-piece instead of 4 or 5.
Yeah, we'd be screwed.
And then I brought my 412 and my Rocker Verb 50 head, and it carried. It was fine. But
for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
actually, it was fine.
It sounded fine.
Sound on stage, we already covered that. It sucked.
And I was like, okay, it was kind of weird because the guy was like, oh, I had to be so loud on stage, and I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, what were you set at?
I was set at okay. So this is what was weird. I mean, nothing wrong with the venue or whatever, but just like the sound guy hadn't showed up, but we had sound checked. So somebody else had sound checked us.
Someone who kind of knew how to operate,
I guess, yeah.
barely.
And so he sound checked me at like my amp was like moderate volume. I just want to be able to have some stage volume, and I wanted it to sound good. So I was at like around 9:00. And then like it was mic'd up and already like there, and there was an acoustic act. It was a main sail. They killed it. It sounded really good. It was like did
2 Taylors, right?
2 Taylors, like
you can't
go wrong with just like DI into that. Like, ooh, sounded good.
Yeah.
So they opened up and they're like, oh yeah, just set up your amps behind us, and that way you guys can just jump on and go. And so we DI'd not DI'd, but we mic'd.
We did
everything.
like a quick setup.
Yeah, and then they kind of set up their stuff, and then the sound guy, the one actual like sound engineer, showed up, and he was like, he couldn't figure out where the guy plugged in channels to. Luckily, everything else, like the kick and the vocals and everything, he got figured out, but he could not figure out guitar. He's always like, "Hi, dude, I don't know where your guitar is. So, can you just turn up and just like, I can't get you through the house. I'm like,
we'll work it out basically as we go.
No, he didn't even say that. He's like, I can't figure it out. Just turn it up so you get over the house. I'm like, okay, it's not a huge room, and I have 412. Yeah, of course I can crank it up. So I cranked it up. It may not
be balanced, right? But whatever.
Either way, it's going to be loud enough. So I cranked it up to 1 o'clock. That's loud for a 50 watt 4x12. And then during the first song, now this just sounds like us bitching. Whatever. We're carrying on here. I was at 1 o'clock on a 50 watt amp, and then like through the first song, he found what channel my guitar was on.
He really found,
but it was sound checked to being at 9 o'clock. So think of like maybe I don't know, looking at your dial. Like I'm at 9 o'clock of where it is, and then I'm at like 1 o'clock. So like that much of a volume jump, that's a bunch.
Yeah.
So he had sound checked it, and so we're on stage, and it's like it's going through our monitors.
Middle of the song.
It's like boom.
Yeah, it's like an explosion of sound.
Like, you looked at me and like, what'd you do?
Yeah,
and
I thought you stepped on a pedal.
I'm like, if that was a boost, that's a hell of a boost.
Yeah, damn. Well, because I heard it, on the stage we couldn't hear anything. That was fucking loud. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised people weren't bleeding.
But I mean,
dead people in the front row.
And the thing is, I'm like, nobody complained.
No,
they must have figured it out in the front of house, but like they didn't. They figured out our stage afterwards. Whatever. We relied on earplugs and knowing the songs,
and we were fine.
That's exactly what we did. But it was fun. Other bands were cool. I mean, our buddies Nights Like Thieves, they played. They were good. It sounded great. Orange Rig. He had a TH30. Sounds good. And the other guy had a Terror, Orange Terror.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. But the band that headlined and closed the show, I think they headlined. They had a huge crowd. They fucking killed it. They were called The Undertaking. They were kind of like, they reminded me, and like I'm sure whatever, you can always like try and generalize a band, but like Every Time I Die, that's kind of what they reminded me of. They killed it.
Like Wonder Years, I guess. More and more.
I want to say but they had a lot of rocking beats and stuff like that. A little more driving than I'd say the Wonder Years. Maybe a mix of the two. All but right. One of the guitar players, they had great gear too. I mean, not that they sounded bad, but I'm like, or like that's like exceeding whatever their sound is, but their gear.
Was it Gibson, right?
I mean, just a Gibson Les Paul, like a studio, nothing wrong with that.
Into
a JCM 800.
No pedals.
Half stack. Yep.
Straight in.
Actually, he did have pedals. He had he had a tuner and he had a mini tube screamer.
Okay.
So tube screamer.
That's right.
Going into a Marshall, nothing wrong with that.
Fuck, man.
Just pushing that thing, and I'm like, it sounded killer. I'm like, damn. And they went to it because the guy, they were like, oh no, fuck it, we're just gonna crank it. And he's like, don't mic up and just go. And it sounded great. They were a great band, super cool.
What did the other guitarist play?
He had an orange Rock Reverb 100 Mark III. So Rock Reverbs, I dig him. And then the bass player had...
The bass player, fucking Christ.
He had a old 70s Bassman through a two... It was
like a 6...
It was a 610?
Yeah.
Like a Fender 610?
So wide.
It was... Or maybe it was a 215. I don't know, but it sounded killer.
Did they make 612s? It looked like the width of your cabinet.
Maybe. Or maybe they just made an old big... I don't know. Maybe.
I didn't ask.
I didn't ask, but I just saw it was like an old like Bassman. Like 70s Bassman Silverface.
Yeah.
Great band. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great show. But yeah, that was enough babbling. What do you say? Let's get some topics.
Yeah, let's hit them.
Okay, so this topic comes from...
all the way over in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, it's a Copperstone Heavy.
Commonwealth.
Copperstone Heavy episode. Alex from Copperstone hit us up. He's like, hey, I got an idea for you guys. What about, great pedals with bad or boring names?
Okay.
So I like that.
I'm gonna extend this to maybe shitty pedals that have shitty names too. Maybe.
Okay. Well, let's
try and get them all.
So,
Pokemon.
What do you? I got a list. You got a list. You want me to go first? You got it.
Yeah, you started off.
Okay. So I'm hitting you right in the heart here.
Oh man.
Like MXR and Boss.
God damn it.
They kind of step in both sides of it. They have creative names. And fucking boring names.
Yeah.
It's like, at least know what you're getting into with some of these, because it's like, oh, CE2 chorus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
But like with MXR, it's like they had the MXR reverb. Okay. So it's not, or like they like the micro chorus. I mean,
yeah. Okay. We know what it is.
The flanger. I'm like, God, okay, we get it, you guys. But then they also like step into like the carbon copy.
Yeah.
They step into
that's a creative name.
Sugar Drive.
with a blue box, which is just like, oh, it's a blue stomp box.
It's kitschy, but I'm like, they have no consistency. So they'll do like very boring, plain names like, here's a flanger.
Distortion.
Here's your distortion. Yeah, or distortion plus.
Oh, this is amp like micro amp.
Yeah,
and then we have a micro amp plus.
Yeah, or like they do the boost. Oh, this is like the micro boost, something like It's like
you know what? It's based on a FET and it's a driver. You know what we should do? FET driver.
And then the same thing with Boss. It's like they kind of kept a lot of the things like delay, which is like what the DM2 is like the delay. It's not even analog delay. It's just here's our delay. We're probably never gonna make any others.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
oh shit, we have a bunch of other delays.
And then like the digital delay, the DD like 5, DD6, DD7, and like
so many DDs.
But they're kind of like going into like the realm of like, okay, yeah, we're digital delays, like this almost like the Mark 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But and then they kind of do like some weird names of like, okay, the metalcore or like the, it's like they kind of went off of the rails with that.
Metal Zone, okay, we get that.
And then metalcore, power stack, things like that. It's like, okay, so you guys are trying to be like kitschy and like, something cool with this, like cool guys,
Yeah.
And then they do like, oh, we have our phaser, we have our super phaser, we have our chorus, we have our,
fuzz.
Chorus ensemble. It's like, it's like they're kind of going, I was like, pick a lane.
Well, that's what CE is, chorus ensemble.
And then like, why? I mean, but they also named it like CE2 chorus.
Yeah.
It's like, pick a lane. Both of these brands, pick a lane. Like if you're going to do just boring stuff, I'm like, okay, then like make it just like clinical and boring and name them, which I don't, it is what it is because they're great effects. But they're boring names.
Well, it's definitely
like the carbon copy is an analog delay, but they don't just call it analog delay.
Yeah,
they call it carbon copy.
Probably almost did.
Yeah, I bet they would have. But
I think wait,
we already named the other one the analog delay.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, but like the sugar drive, I'm like, that has nothing to do. What does that even mean? It's like
it's super sweet.
It's their, I know, but it's their clone, and has like, they just like. They came up with the name. I like it. It's a sparkly blue, light blue kind of thing, mini thing.
Yeah, they could have just called it Light Drive.
It looks like a piece of cotton candy. I want to kind of bite it. Yeah, look, I like it.
I like it.
I lick it. So that's kind of. I started off the bat there. So at least we both kind of agree on that.
Yeah, I have some maybe from DoD.
What do you got?
One that comes to mind is the meat box.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
I am going to be honest with you. What is that pedal again?
It's a sub synth.
Okay, got it.
And it's like highly sought after. If you're like, oh, I want to collect all the DoD pedals like me,
Yeah.
Don't do that one. That one's fucking ridiculously, like it's like $400. Not going there.
I looked into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh yeah.
Little pricey.
The reissue is, I think, the same price as the original.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
I heard that's not as crazy as the original.
No, I don't know. But you know who's got both of them?
Johnny Ray.
Yeah.
Johnny,
I saw them today.
Homeless Johnny or whatever. What was it?
Homeless 6-shooter.
Yeah, homeless 6-shooter. Yeah. He'll never live that down. Thanks, Adam.
That's pretty good.
Adam Rohr from the Let Him Hear podcast gave Johnny Ray, friend of the show, we love him. You love him. Gave him that nickname.
What's another? Was it the Ibanez? Was it the Sound Tank series? All those don't make any sense.
Really? I mean,
Slam Punk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What the fuck? We've covered that one before.
I mean, Slam Punk is because it's a punk rock metal. The grunge,
right. Yeah,
because that's DoD. That's the grunge. It's meant to be
some lines here.
Meant to be grunge. So sometimes I think with like naming pedals, like nowadays,
it's probably a tough job.
Yeah, because you got to think something that's not been done already, and
that
something
grabs
that
attention,
might stand out. So you got to. Maybe they just pick a name and an artwork theme or art theme that goes together. And it's like they kind of just have to like go with it. They don't want to step on like any toes of other brands or like, copyrights and stuff like that. So I'm talking out of my ass, but I'm just assuming that's something of it. But it's like, okay, for example, Wampler's Ace 30.
Ace 30.
It was like an AC30 Vox in a box kind of deal. And that's a great name. It's clever. It's a very big wink and a nod to what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Ace 30, AC30, Ace, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
They got a big no from Vox on that
Really?
one. So they had to change it to the 30-something, which is still pretty clever.
That is pretty good.
It's kind of cool when they can name a pedal as a nod to what it's supposed to be, if it's a take on something or it's like a type of effect.
Kind of like how your fractal.
Yeah, they do that just so they don't get a cease and desist on them.
Yeah,
so they're like bass man.
Oh no,
bass guy. That's their. That's what
gotta go back and rewrite software. Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean that's kind of their thing. I'm like, but there's some pedals that just don't make any sense. I know we own it and we really enjoy it, but the Earthquaker Westwood, what the fuck?
I don't know.
That's like just their kind of transparent, low gain drive. It's a great pedal. I mean, the artwork.
I gotta look into that. Maybe there's something there.
The artwork, like the regular green one, it's like the green on green is kind of like.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring, but
the white on purple.
Yeah, is sparkle purple is really cool, and it's a great sounding pedal. But I'm like, the name is kind of boring.
Yeah,
it's like, well, you guys aren't really telling what this thing does. It's Westwood.
Yeah,
what the hell is it?
It's a cool name. It doesn't make sense, but it has a good ring to it. The actual name.
Yeah, or maybe like sometimes like companies just like pick a random name and just go with it.
Yeah, like that's probably what they do. I mean, they're more of like a communal way they do things there.
It's like the JHS.
They probably put it in a hat or something and name it.
Yeah,
that's probably what they do.
Or like they like have just a big like whiteboard. I'm like, write names down, and like today on Friday,
we're gonna throw a dart.
Yeah, whatever hits. Like
so we're gonna do a Nerf dart and suction right on what you get.
Like the JHS Panther. What the fuck? That's a delay.
Yeah,
the JHS Emperor. Like it's cool penguin artwork, but that's a chorus.
Yeah, those are a little harder to.
It's like, huh? And then
it's because they're banking on that graphic being the thing that gets you.
Well, it's like, okay, well now with them they had the spring tank, which I'm like, that graphic. I'm like,
all right,
it's clever. I get it. It's a tank that is shooting a spring. Okay, it's supposed to be a spring reverb. You got me.
What's into it? Double barrel, right? The shotgun one,
because it has two drives. Yep, there you go.
Boom. I was just looking at, was it Moore?
Yeah.
Some of those don't make any fucking sense. They have one called Baby Water.
And that's not even cool.
No.
At least you can say the Westwood
water
is cool.
sucks a drink, right? It's flavorless and horrible.
Water sucks. It really, really... What is the Waterboy song? Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a big Adam Sandler fan.
You don't like Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore?
No, Madison, I try watch that. Doesn't hold up. Happy Gilmore, love it.
Airheads. Good one.
That's a good one,
but he's not really like a main. No, it's Brendan Fraser.
I really see Steve Buscemi as the star.
Oh, they're both pretty good.
Yeah, Baby Water.
This penis head.
It's
calls him penis head. Anyways,
okay, back to the really amazing, interesting pedal.
The Baby Water.
The Baby Water.
What the fuck?
Acoustic delay.
When I think of water. Because I don't remember who. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's like liquid. It's like a chorus, I guess.
Maybe
because people say, "Oh, it's a very fluid chorus" or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just Nirvana. I guess I don't know. It's like that doesn't make me think of an acoustic.
Yeah, and this is me just rolling down reverb and like going, "What the fuck?" I wrote some of the names down, but didn't write down the effect because I was like, "Was it the Green Mile?"
It's probably a tube screamer because it's green.
Oh, it's green. Oh.
Maybe. But that, like, I don't know. That doesn't make me think of a tube screamer.
And they just make up shit.
I guess they're like green giant. Yeah, that's tube screamer. They think of anything like.
Yeah, anything with green.
Yeah, green envy, I guess.
Was it? But some great ones from. Was it switching gears to TC, another major one, of course. There's some great names on a lot of their pedals.
Yeah, I think like the flashback.
Flashback's great. Yeah, you know exactly what it is.
It's gonna be a delay. Yeah, okay.
Mimic. What do you think that's going to be?
Yep.
Obviously,
doubling. Yeah,
it's going to be a doubler, but you could also think it's going to be a delay, right? But but
it stands in both.
Yeah, once you go, oh, it's a doubler. Mimic makes sense.
Yeah.
The shaker vibrato
makes sense.
Okay,
but they also have some
stinkers,
and it's more of the cheaper stuff.
Yeah,
maybe
the $30 and under.
Maybe they didn't put enough R&D into the naming of things, too.
I think I even have one. I haven't seen it. Maybe someone stole it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Out of my garage, yeah. The Grand Magus?
Yeah.
There's probably a story behind that name, but what the fuck? It's in quotations, I think, analog distortion.
Okay.
I don't believe it. I think it's all digital.
And then, but it's like that doesn't mean, I don't know. To me, it doesn't like bring like distortion. It's like, and I keep thinking it's gonna be Grand Magnus.
Yeah,
and
but
people list them on Reverb as Grand Magnus.
Yeah,
what's Magus?
Maybe it's where are they from?
Well, I mean, they're making those pedals out of China.
Yeah,
okay. Behringer. I don't know where,
but they named them probably. I don't know who the fuck named it.
Who knows? What's in a name?
Afterglow.
That sounds like a chorus to me.
Sounds like a chorus to you?
Sounds like or it sounds like a modulation or a reverb.
Yeah, because it is a chorus.
Okay, so that kind of works.
But it's not, I guess, it's like kind of 80s sounding, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
That's what I think. When I hear chorus, I think 80s, which isn't necessarily true.
Yeah.
But Blood Moon?
Like a distortion.
It's a fuzz.
Okay.
Fuck, I think.
Or is it a phaser, I think?
Oh, maybe you're right.
I think it was a phaser.
Fuck.
Because I remember always hearing that, like, blood. I think blood of, like, that's distortion, you know? Like,
yeah.
Kind of deal.
Was it El Mocambo?
What?
The fuck? Yeah, that's a fucking pedal.
Elmo?
El Mocambo.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog? Elmo?
Yeah, those two together. Yeah, you're right. Blood Moon is a phaser.
Okay, because I remember thinking it was like a distortion or some crazy fucking thing, but it was a phaser. I'm like, what? Huh? But, I mean, okay, Electro Harmonics, they got a couple of them that are just like, what the fuck? Okay. Electro Harmonics, EHX, Soul Preacher. What is that? To you?
Occupation?
Yeah. It's a compressor.
Yeah, that doesn't...
Really? But they have another name that is more... It makes more sense. The Tone Corset.
Okay.
It's a compressor also. Kind of like
I don't know how those work.
I've never worn a corset.
Don't want to.
I probably should wear one.
No.
I'm getting a little wide around the midsection here.
Puts everything where you want it, I guess, right?
More, yeah. But anyways, like that kind of makes sense. It's kind of it's a dumb name, but you hear it like, it's a corset. Yeah, it tightens things. Okay, I get it. You guys
did it. Me.
Battalion bass preamp. What the fuck?
Just because it sounds.
Is it the alliteration?
Yeah,
Battalion bass. It's the hubba bubba bass preamp. The bass preamp.
Jesus. Made of cheese.
Man, that's so dumb. Okay, another company. I love them, but some of their names, at least this pedal, I was like, what in the fuck? It makes you think it's going to be something completely different. Orange amplifiers. They do some pedals.
Okay. Oh, really? Wait, what?
Ooh, I think we talked about them. Not some great ones, but they do some pedals. Their amp detonator. What would you think an amp detonator is?
Like fucking metal, like...
Or it's going to make your amp explode, right?
Yeah.
It's going to like a boost. It's going to like...
Distortion or like overdrive, dirt, something.
It's a switcher. You switch between two outputs. It's an ABY box.
It's not even an effect. It's a utility pedal.
It's a utility pedal. Amp detonator. Maybe, God. Okay, yeah, you just said that. Maybe they were thinking like, okay, this is kind of fucking boring, you guys.
We got to sell this shit.
What are we going to do? Amp switcher, amp selector, amp detonator.
Hey, call it the amp detonator. Oh, my cousin Larry over there. I'm glad I hired him.
My cousin Larry.
Go for something.
And it was like, okay, it's a dumb name.
Probably Lawrence.
I heard it's a great pedal and it works. It's a great switcher and it has like some ground lift on it, so you don't get noise and stuff like that. But it's just a dumb name.
What's wrong with the name? I mean,
what's in a name? It's like second time using that. They have another pedal, 2-stroke.
That would be probably
a better name for that.
Yeah,
because you're switching between.
Oh, let me guess, an amp switcher? No,
it's a fucking drive pedal, I think, or a fuzz or something that I don't care about.
And then they have what, Getaway Driver, which is a cool name, right?
Yeah. And it's a drive pedal. Getaway Driver, I get it. It's a drive pedal.
Yeah.
Anytime like somebody puts like, drive, like a name of a famous street, like Sunset Drive.
Yeah,
is the East Driving, the Riverside Drive because it's a name of a street. Yeah, okay, drive pedal. Got it. Okay, those are clever, but I'm like, I don't know. Those were the kind of the ones that I'm like, those are fucking dumb, dude. What do you think?
Yeah, No, that's
I don't know if you guys have any others.
There's plenty.
I'm sure there's a bunch. There's a bunch of them. I mean, shout out in the group.
No, you talk shit about my MXR ones, but you're completely dead on those.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we agreed on it at least. They're not bad. The thing is, they're good pedals, and then the thing is, a lot of the ones that we named are good pedals. They're just dumb names.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
Reverb. It's like one of the best pedals.
It's a great reverb, but it's like, well, I mean, at least I know what it is and what it does.
You're not losing me.
Yep. And, hey, it is what it is.
All right, I got one for you.
Okay. Bring it on.
So I'm not talking about boutique brands, but big brands that you just see are missing something. Mm-hmm. So like essential gear. I mean, like, mix a phaser and a inverted upside down chorus that has an overdrive in the background. Yeah.
Through a curly straw through a chorus.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. That transmits Bluetooth through yeah.
What the fuck?
So dumb.
And then carry a pigeon back to you.
Yeah, so these are like, these could be utility pedals. These could be like, maybe it's a modulate, something that like, you're like, fuck, this company doesn't make one.
Okay.
So like, I don't know, do you have anything off the top of your head or what?
Well,
because I know we've covered like MXR doesn't make a tuner.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That is really weird.
Because they have just about everything else.
Really?
If they have like just about every other effect.
They have 1 million fucking volume pedals. Okay, they have like 4? At least 4 volume pedals.
Okay.
It's like, why? Volume pedals. Volume expression pedals. But they do not have a tuner. They don't even have a Dunlop, way huge MXR. No tuners. That's kind of weird. Not even clip-on tuners.
Yeah. Well, who wants those anyways?
I know, but
I do, actually. If I took one at NAMM, so
if they had an MXR tuner, you'd be like clip-on tuner. You'd be like,
give me 4 of them.
That's a dumb idea. Well, can I have 4?
4 and put them on the headstock.
I got 2 guitars, but I might get more.
Yeah, you can't. The defeats the purpose of it being clip-on. It just stays on the guitar the whole time.
Well, I guess I don't really have a lot of like bigger brands, but I have some like.
Well, okay, maybe I was shooting a little too low.
Yeah.
And we can aim a little higher.
What about you? You got some bigger brands in mind?
Yeah.
I got some smaller ones. How about let's do the bigger brands and then you tackle those.
So in my journeys through the DoD, like the older pedals, like the vintage style enclosure. I mean, this is like a little more smaller, zone here, but they don't have a reverb in the smaller classic.
Yeah.
They make them in their like, I don't know, the hardwire cases like that, or the later 80s models, but not that
and then the
solid like aluminum enclosure.
Digitech,
okay. But I'm saying
in DoD,
you think of it as like a all one company. I like to break them up, okay? Because those other ones are shit.
One thing that they don't have besides the reverb, they don't have a company anymore.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, Jesus, you're killing me today. But they make this is weird. They make a vintage reverb rack mount, but they never made it into a pedal.
Huh.
Maybe the technology wasn't there for them to.
I think rack mount gear is what you got to get into next, man.
Man, okay, this might be a tangent, but MXR makes a 15-band EQ rack mount.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they make a lot of they make several fucking EQs.
Yeah.
But they don't make a tuner.
Yeah.
A 10-band EQ. A new version of the 10-band EQ. They have a 6-band EQ.
And they have artist models for 10-band. They have like
Kerry King EQ.
Was it the guy? Oh no, it looks like an EQ pedal, but isn't it a fuzz? The one that has like the.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Is it Gibbons? Billy? No.
I think so.
It's a fuzz though, right?
But yeah, you can control it like
change
that
the frequencies in it, so it works like an EQ, but it's really just sounds.
And there's
like
also the Joe
That's more of a Dunlop
Bonamassa one, but I think it's way huge. But he has controls on sliders as well.
Okay.
Just because, so. Anyways, there's a couple people who have like those type of pedals.
So yeah, who would want that?
Anyways, but
that's
I'm like,
not on my list.
Yeah. So, but they don't have a tuner. Anyways, back to it. You had some other bigger brands.
Yeah. Fender. Yeah. They don't make any good pedals.
I wish you guys could have seen Kyle's face. That was fucking damn. You got me with that one. There it is, folks. Let's wrap it up. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's the bit.
Actually,
That was good.
in my journeys, a lot of major companies don't make tuner pedals.
Gotcha.
So let's cross them off the list. DoD. I don't see a DoD tuner.
Yeah.
EHX doesn't have a tuner.
Really? Yeah. No, they have a million fucking
crazy pogs. And
yeah, and like, you know, the fucking compressors. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. And then and they have a bass version of every other effect.
Yeah. And they have like 8 reverbs and they're all the same circuit, but we have 8 knobs on this one. This one's got 1 knob.
We got 2 of these same reverbs in this one.
Yeah. Wait, there's a clone. What do they call the different size enclosures? The Holy Grail, right? But then they have the Nano,
and then they have the Mini. Oh goddamn! I'm gonna lose it. I knew it at one point. They had like the bigger size, the little sizes, the nano sizes, and stuff like that.
And Nano's like the size of like an MXR. Mm-hmm. It could be smaller, probably. Yeah. But anyways, they have like a million sizes of the same circuit, like, same pedal.
Yeah, Big Muff. They have like. Probably, I mean,
but they think about the R&D that goes into making a pedal, and you go, "Fuck, man, Boss has got a killer TU2 and TU3 and a TU3 Waza, and they have the one that doesn't have a foot switch on it
for some reason." Yeah,
the one that goes flat on your pedal board. All right, whatever.
And then it's like, and then like you know, TC has great tuners.
Yeah,
I mean, Sonic awesome. Research has really good tuners. It's like so. I guess like maybe some
Dario makes one. Snark made one.
Yeah.
I mean, probably Dan Electro made it and they slapped the cast Snark on it.
And so it's like, I'm sure people are like, well, why do we want to get into that market? But in the same sense of me just finishing that sentence, there's a million fucking Tube Screamers and Klon clones. Exactly. So why don't people like do their own?
Exactly.
And like, you know, I'm like, I just finished. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, you know, there's so many Tube Screamers out there. Nobody stops and says like, there's a bunch of Tube Screamers out there. I won't make mine. No, they're like, I'm going to make mine.
You know, mine's going to have a half of one in it.
Yeah. And rats and fucking, like, you know, metal zones.
Big muffs.
Yeah, big muffs. Oh, jeez.
For fucking days.
Oh, God, fuzz pedals. Tons of them. You know, everybody's doing their own, but nobody does their own tuner.
No.
It's like, hey, you know, maybe you should get a piece of that pie, but, like, try and improve upon it by, like, the size of it, by the flexibility
of
it.
Put it in a volume pedal or something.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. But
what about you? What's on? What do you got?
I had some smaller ones.
Okay.
So, okay. JHS.
Yeah.
I believe they have not done a phaser.
Okay.
So they've done like, you know, chorus and they've done like, you know, the vibratos.
Yep.
And no phasers.
Do you own any JHS pedals?
Not anymore. But they do get stuff. Nothing wrong with that. And, you know, for JHS phaser, I'm pretty sure the dude could just rip off a fucking Phase 90 or Boss phaser and put it into one
fucking day
and like call it a day because you know he's ripping off other effects. So just do that with a phaser, like, and then people are gonna buy that shit up, priced it at $210. People are gonna be like, "Oh shit, I need that." No phasers,
man.
And then I was thinking, an easy one, Wampler, Wah. There's no Wamplers.
I know, what the fuck. That's all you need to call it too.
And
Wampler.
I mean, that's the joke one that he's always talked about. If you ever listen to his Chasing Tone podcast, he's like, "Oh yeah, if you guys ever came up with like a Wampler, a wah pedal, call it a Wampler."
He should just does he joke? Does he do?
Thanks, dickhead. You know, that kind of thing. $1 million idea right here. Call it a Wampler.
Just do April Fool's tomorrow.
That's what he should.
Or not tomorrow, Monday.
Yeah, that's what he should do. Okay, another like serious one, like a Wampler EQ. He has done a great mod to the GE7.
Yeah,
which you know kind of followed that, and like you know with your mods that you've done, like he had it in his how to modify pedals pedal book or whatever.
Yeah,
that's out there, and he's used the GE7 in a bunch of videos. Or at least on his YouTube, or at least like really notable ones.
So he knows the circuit pretty well.
And he knows how important a good EQ, like 7-band, 6-band, whatever EQ can be.
Yeah.
Like putting it in front of drive pedals, putting it after drive pedals, putting it in the effects loop of an amp. Like, he knows how important that can be. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would love to see what his take would be on an EQ pedal. Like, maybe certain versatility that he can add to it. Like, obviously cutting out noise floor, which is he knows how to do from the, the Boss ones.
Yeah, but make his own circuit and stuff.
Maybe making it something of like, okay, maybe 5-band, similar to like how Mesa does on their like Mark series. Like, okay, maybe like, hey, we don't need 7 or whatever. Just only picking out the best type of like frequencies that he knows that really affects guitar.
Yeah.
Because, Brian Wobbler, he's doing that type of shit. That'd be cool. It's not like he needs it. They're doing other shit. They're doing probably way bigger things. But I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, he does a great mod to that. And he uses it for a lot of his videos.
Probably not worth his time.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Another one that I was thinking of is this is a smaller scale. Nocturne Brain.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a spring reverb pedal. I saw that they have the Pescadoro, which is a more of a vintage like 30s, 40s style plate reverb in a pedal with a preamp, and it has like to drive it and stuff like that. And I know they have like a literal actual spring tank unit. But like, and we've played it and it sounds fucking killer, but I'm like, I would love to get his take on a spring reverb. Cause to me, I'm like, he's kind of the guy to do that. Like, I'm like, I would like to hear like him doing some like rockabilly surf style. Like,
it sounds retro. Like you're calling him out right now.
I don't know. I don't think he listens. I wish he did.
No. But he lives like a mile away.
Yeah.
So
we should actually just like
knock on his door,
call him out. But to me, I'm like, I think that he'd be a guy who would have a good ear for that, like type of like spring reverb. And like, I'm sure he would do some crazy cool stuff with like mixing it with preamps and stuff like that, not just making it only a spring reverb.
He'll let you the effects stand out with that preamp.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the other day. I was like watching some of the videos on his Instagram, and that was one. I'm like, man, how come he doesn't have a spring, like a drippy kind of spring reverb? That seems like he'd be the guy to do that.
Yeah. But
that was kind of my thing. What else you got?
That was basically it. I mean, I wanted to make that Fender joke. Yeah, and it's just about the tuners, man. No one's got tuners.
Oh, I got a couple others.
All right.
I was thinking about this.
I'll think of some while you.
I don't know.
Flap your gums.
So, Strymon, they don't have like individual modulation pedals.
Yeah, they're always combined or in.
Well, they have the Mobius.
Digital.
Yeah, and I'm like, why don't they make them like the Flint sized? Like, you could do a chorus. You could do
the smaller.
Yes, I mean, for fuck's sake, the Lex is a Leslie style pedal that they made.
Yeah.
And they why would you make that as opposed to like a phaser or a chorus or flanger? Like, obviously not as usable, but as a chorus or a phaser, those are all over the place. And like,
and they've made like the same effect over and over again. It seems like they really dive into. Oh, this is now a tape echo.
Well, this is a tape delay. Tape echo, tape delay. Well, there's a difference.
Oh, okay. Not to rag on tape echoes because I like them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on.
Isn't that kind of very... I don't know. To me, I'm like, I know
Didn't you have that in the timeline, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of it. I mean, I don't know. We'll wrap that one up.
Yeah.
It was cool. It's a good episode. Back gear focused.
Yeah, back on track, kind of.
We're
getting there, actually.
We're back in the swing of things here. So, let's reel it in here. Just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Tone Jerks podcast. If you guys like what you hear, you guys can follow along on the social medias. Check us out on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. We also have a page, which is bullshit. Like that. We need to boost those numbers. But join the group. There's a lot of conversations going on, a lot of fun shit like going on in there. And then if you guys want to, Instagram at the Tone Jerks. We're posting on the reg. And if you guys really like what you hear, you guys can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you guys double down for $2 a month, you guys get an extra episode every week. And, just for supporting the show, we're going to read your names out. So, Kyle, you got that list? Give it to me, baby!
I got it right here. We have Jim Bowers, Jamie Davis, Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast, Adam Rohr from the Let 'Em Hear podcast.
Woo!
Abe Newman, Michael Newman, the Newman brothers, Andrew Walsh. No, they were the same. We don't have another.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got Andrew Walsh, Jason Fuzzmonger, Doug Christ, Doug Gann, and Doug King. Johnny Ray, Joseph from Like My Pedals, and Will Lehue. They have a podcast. They have
a new podcast. You make sure to check it out. It is called
Just Surprise Me.
Woo!
Yeah. Crack open a cold, actually it's probably warm Miller Lite.
Yep.
Kevin Equits from Equits Guitars. Leon from Pelican Noiseworks. Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. Steve Mike. Stephen Conradi. Sean Fahey. Bruce Banana. Digger from Fatfoot Effects. Brett Alexander. Colin Smith. Alvaro Viramontes. Nicholas Payson. And Brian from Nutter Guitars.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Brian
Thanks,
from Nutter Guitars. He was on the Guitar Knobs podcast a week ago. Great episode. We are in talks of having him on our show. Great guitars. I really enjoyed his episode. So go check out their podcast and check him out. And that's kind of it. That's all I got. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week. We love you
so much. Bye.